Hello, Caroline. Are you there? Please reply if you're reading this. I wanted to ask you something. You married my son 2 years ago and came to live with us, but you're still working. Why is that? When are you going to quit that silly job of yours? You're going to be 30 in a few months, you know, right? You also know that my husband runs a company and someone has to take over that company after your husband. I suggest you start getting busy bringing a new member to this family. A male heir who will take over the company one day. Have you even put any thought into having a child? Besides, I sure would like to see a grandson soon. Good morning, Mother. I think I mentioned this numerous times, but the person that will take over as the president of your husband's company will be determined on merit. That's how your husband wants it. He's not going to have a family member just take over because this person is a relative. Well, that's all very virtuous and all, but that's not the real world, Caroline. In reality, my husband's company has been run by 3 generations of this family. It's been handed down from father to son for generations, and our company has profited because of it. Merit alone will not suffice. There is a little thing called tradition, which you seem to be lacking, Caroline. It has already been decided that your husband James will eventually take over as the next company president, and after him his son, my grandson. Yes, well, tradition is all very good and all, but times have changed, Mother. I'm not saying it's wrong. If the person taking over is competent, whether that be James or someone else, I'm all for it. Will you stop contradicting me? You always find a way to refute everything I say. My husband has informed me that you are a very competent and reliable employee, but your competence and this issue are completely different. You are in no position to determine company policy. You're just another employee. I suggest you keep your nose out of it. I think that applies to you more than it does to me, don't you think? Pardon me? The person that will be promoted to that position concerns all the employees, and that person's decisions affect us all. You've never in your life worked at your husband's company. It seems obvious that it's you that has no right to decide who becomes the next company president or any other position. How dare you? How could you say that? I'm this company president's wife, for God's sakes. I certainly do have the right. Yes, I'm quite aware of that, but that makes no difference whatsoever. Makes no difference? Have you lost your mind, Caroline? I'm in possession of all my faculties, thank you. Do you really think that just because you're the president's wife that you can make such an important decision? Well, I have the right to. Just doesn't seem logical to me is all. This is getting nowhere. All you have to do is just stop complaining and work on giving us a grandson so that someday he will be able to take over this company and continue this long-established custom. If you have time to spurt such nonsense, I suggest you use your time more wisely by having a child. Right now, I'm giving my work priority above all, and I've talked long and hard about this with Jim. Pardon me? I know you complain to Jim about this matter all the time, and he gets irritated because you're so bullheaded about it. But could you not take that frustration out on me? I have other things to worry about. Jim said that? I wasn't trying to be difficult or anything. Just so you know, Mother, Jim is sitting right next to me and seeing this entire conversation. What? Are you serious? Why didn't you say so before? You better be ready for a line text from him later on, and it won't be a very pleasant one, I can tell you that. You tricked me into this, didn't you? You had him sit down and witness this conversation. How could you? Even if I denied such an absurd allegation, you wouldn't believe me, so what can I say? This is getting really exasperating, Mother. I really have to go. Goodbye. Caroline, are you seeing this? Answer me! I want you to come home right away and do a little cleaning. The place is a total mess. You married into this family and you live in this house. You have an obligation to do some of the chores. Sorry, Mother, I'm still at work and I have to do some overtime tonight. Got a project to finish up. Sorry. Are you serious? My husband left his position as president to become the chairman. There is not much time left for you to get to work conceiving a child. And why are you still working? There's no need. I want you to resign and stay home and fulfill your role as a wife. Excuse me? You want me to be an obedient little housewife, is that it? Are you all right, Mother? You know I'm not the type. Like I said, I give my work priority above all. Are you still going on about that? Anyways, Jim did the cleaning as soon as he got home earlier. He just sent me a line saying that he finished. Wait, you're having James clean the house? Don't tell me he's also cooking. Yes, sometimes, anyways. We're not even living together anymore. How could you even know the place is a mess? We both share household chores. When he's busy, I do the cleaning and cooking. That's what we agreed on. I don't need you telling us what to do. Don't tell me you want me to come to your house and clean too. Is that what you're getting at? Is that what a housewife has to do? This sounds like your typical mother-in-law pestering her son's wife kind of scenario, like in some daytime soap opera. We didn't opt to live near you guys just so you would pester us day and night. How could you say that? It's a mother's duty to look after her son and, in extension, his wife. To pass the experiences of being the wife of a company president. I'm sorry, Mother, but before you start with all the same old hot air again, I received permission from Jim to respond however I saw fit. Just so you're aware. Jim gave you permission? And what's this about hot air? Also, I'm going to be pretty busy with this current project, so if you send me any messages that sound like the same old spiel, well, I'm simply not going to respond. Wait, what? So you're just going to ignore me, is that it? Yes, I already got Jim's permission to do it. Jim would never allow such a thing. I better have a talk with him about this nonsense. I really can't have you interfering with my work. We're in a crucial phase now, so I would appreciate your cooperation, Mother. You really know how to anger someone, Caroline. Yeah, well, whatever. How could you just ignore your mother-in-law, for Christ's sake? Always giving your work priority and shunning your responsibilities at home. What kind of a wife are you, anyway? I will make you listen and obey me. Mark my words, Caroline. You'll regret talking to me that way. Mother, have you gone totally nuts? Why did you go into our house without permission? And why did you change the locks? How do you expect us to get in? Are you trying to lock us out of our own home? Do you realize what you're doing, Mother? And besides, where the hell did you get a spare key? I never gave you one, and neither did Jim. I simply took my son's key and had a spare made down at the mall. Hold on a second, Mother. You had a spare made without us knowing? Yes, when he visited us last month, I saw his key case on the kitchen table. And when Jim and my husband were watching that football game, I drove down to the mall and had a spare made. He never knew it was missing. You just went and made a spare key to our house? For what, may I ask? Yes, that's because you two would never give me one. Jim promised he would when you first moved in. If I don't have a spare, how am I supposed to go over there and check the place and see that you're doing your duty properly? Mother, do I really have to explain? Stop right there, Caroline. If you want to enter this house again, I suggest you admit that you were wrong and obey my every demand. I want you to pledge that you will never disobey me, the mother of your husband, the current company chairman. And you mustn't forget that I'm the current president's mother. I want your solemn oath that you will never ever again defy or refuse to obey your mother-in-law. I want your word or you're not entering this house. Wait a second. Did you just say the current president's mother? I'm not sure I understand you. That's right. Why is it so surprising? Just leave company matters to the current president. That would be my son, and focus on conceiving a child. You're the president's wife. There's no reason for you to work. Do as I say, Caroline, or there will be consequences. If you're so dedicated to your job, well, you can continue, but that means you'll have to divorce my son. And that's final. Oh, okay. So that's what you want me to do, huh? You want me to just resign from this company? Am I understanding you correctly, Mother? That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Have you finally gotten that through your little head? There are plenty of other employees that can take your place. That's what a company is for. You work, and when your time comes, you retire to raise a family. It's the normal course of things. Simply just resign and focus on bringing us a grandson. That's your role. It's about time you learned that, Caroline. Oh, okay, Mother. That means we'll just have to see the demise of this company, I suppose. You're joking, right? The company won't go under just because one of its employees resigns. You hold yourself in too much regard, my dear. Mother, you never fail to astound me. I really thought you had the company's survival in mind and that you were serious in your concern regarding who would take over as president, but then you tell me that I have to resign, and not for the good of the company, but to have a baby. What are you trying to say, Caroline? My concern for the company and the family are clear-cut and logical. There is nothing irrational or unjustifiable about what I'm saying. Oh, but it is completely irrational in my opinion. Okay, so if you think what I'm saying is so irrational, then explain that to me. Which part of it is it that you find so unreasonable? Like I said, you attach too much importance to yourself. It embarrasses me whenever you applaud yourself, extolling the virtues of your own work all the time. I mean, how arrogant do you have to be to say the company will go bankrupt if you quit? My God, the audacity! Mother, I hate to tell you this, but I'm the new president of the company. Say again? What did you just say? I said, I'm the new president of the company. I recently took over. I'm surprised you didn't know. Stop joking around, Caroline. I'm serious. This is no laughing matter. This concerns the future of our family. The next president has already been determined, ever since he was born, as a matter of fact. How could he give that position to you, please? Then why don't you ask your husband or contact Jim right now and ask him? They will both tell you the same thing. Or you could even call the office and every employee there will tell you the same thing. This is some kind of prank, right? And what about James? What's James going to do? If he's not president, is he just a regular employee? That can't be. Jim's set to resign by the end of next month. Again, I'm surprised you didn't know. Resign? You're saying he's going to quit the company? Yes, he says he has other objectives, so for now he'll work freelance and see how things go. Freelance? Meaning he's not even going to be employed by a company? Yes, for a while, I guess, after which he says he will eventually start his own company. Start his own company? But why can't he just take over this company? Why would he start his own? Don't tell me you don't even know about that. I thought for sure you would know that. I didn't realize there was such a lack of communication in your family. Jim said that when he went to visit last time, he brought it up several times. He did? I never... He told me that your husband and Jim discussed this possibly years ago. Jim wanted his advice. After all, your husband built his company from scratch. Who better to get advice from, right? Huh? Really? And this was all before Jim and I got married. Neither my husband nor Jim mentioned anything. Oh, and as a side note, as for being selected as president of the company, both Jim and his father were explicit in their decision that I keep my business matters separate from my personal ones, meaning even if I became president, it would not affect our personal lives. And this decision does not mean that because Jim was not selected as president that I stole it from him. Please don't get that idea. Why wasn't I told about this? This is important. My husband nor Jim gave any clue as to what was going on. Caroline, answer me right this second. Why is my husband divorcing me? What did I do that was so wrong? Ever since you arrived, this family has gone totally haywire. You ruined our family, Caroline. And why did Jim throw away the opportunity to become the president of his own family business? And now he's a freelancer? Why? And my husband, he didn't lift a finger to stop him. As a matter of fact, he encouraged him to quit and become a freelancer. What has gotten into everyone? You put a jinx on this family, Caroline. But the worst was yet to come. They appointed you as the next president of our company? How did you manage to dupe everyone? And now my husband wants a divorce? This is like some nightmare. Well, for one thing, you came barging into the offices of our company announcing to everyone of your status as the president's wife, screaming and demanding that your son be appointed president and that after him, our non-existent son, your grandson, be in line to take over after him. That didn't go over too well, especially with your husband. He was humiliated in front of all of his employees. Well, I only did that to protect our... If that security guard hadn't stopped you, you were going to come barging into my office and make a scene. Weren't you? But your actions were futile. A complete waste of time. Did you really think that you would be able to change policy or any decision the company makes? You have zero authority to make such demands. But I'm the president's wife! It doesn't matter, Mother. I'm sure your husband told you many times about his frustration with the old traditions. That generation after generation you select a family member as president. It just didn't sit right with him. He wanted a more merit-based system. He believed a more equal and fair playing field would allow the company to grow beyond its wildest dreams, instead of clinging to old traditions. No, he never meant those things. He was always a family man, always followed tradition. Please, Caroline, talk to my husband and ask him to rescind this silly divorce. He doesn't need to do this. I'll change. Please convince him. I really can't do that, Mother. It's really not my concern. Why? Why can't you at least do this little favor for me? Please, Mother, work it out yourself. I have nothing whatsoever to do with your marriage. It's kind of late. I have to get some sleep. Goodbye. Please, Caroline, help me. Okay, I'll give you my blessing. How's that? I give you my blessing that you become the next president. Will you then help me in return? And about who will take over after you, well, I'll leave that up to you and James. You two can make that final decision. I won't interfere at all. What do you say, Caroline? Please? Please convince my husband to think it over. Please. Caroline, are you still there? Please don't cut me off. Please, Caroline, I need your help. Actually, my father-in-law told her that he was considering me as the next president, but she just wouldn't listen. Her mind just seemed to shut down whenever he brought up the subject. She couldn't accept the fact. The only thing that was on her mind was that her son was destined to become the next president, and that the wife would have to stay at home and have babies. Eventually, I was appointed as the next president, but that fact never entered my mother-in-law's mind in the slightest. Her son was the only person in the world that would be appointed, and that was that. There was no convincing her. She was so programmed by her self-delusions, a form of self-hypnosis if you ask me. It was probably in that state of mind that made her barge into the office and cause the embarrassing scene in front of all those employees. My father-in-law was so infuriated by the incident that he began to question why he was even married to her, which eventually led him to file for divorce. After the divorce went through, she received a comfortable settlement and returned to her grandparents' home back east. But her spendthrift ways as the president's wife never really waned, and her savings quickly diminished. Her grandparents were worried that she would next target their meager savings and pension, and quickly cut ties with her. I heard she was living all alone in some beat-up apartment downtown doing various part-time jobs to make ends meet.
Hey, Mom. Is it alright if I stop by after work?
Yes, that's fine. Did something happen?
To be honest, I'm a little low on cash this month. Would I be able to borrow a bit of money?
Oh, seriously? You're a grown man. Do you really need to be asking your mother for money?
Come on, no matter how old you get, you're never too old to ask your mom for help, right?
You're making money on your own, aren't you? I'm the one who needs the money. I'm living on my pension after all.
You've always had more money than me, even now. Pension pays pretty well, and there's the inheritance from Dad, too. You've been putting that away, haven't you?
Don't be demanding money from your elderly mother.
Come on, please! I want to buy an air filter for my house, but it's a little expensive.
What do you need an air filter for?
My allergies started getting really bad this year. Air filters are supposed to help with that, so I wanted to get one. But the proper ones are kind of expensive. Please! The allergies don't let me sleep properly.
Oh, I guess it can't be helped. But I'm only paying for half, not the whole thing. Paying the full price would spoil you a little too much.
What? Only half? Well, it's better than nothing. Thanks.
Really, Johnny. You're always being spoiled by me, especially in regards to money. I guess it's better than before when money used to just disappear from my wallet.
That was so long ago. That was back when I was still a student, right?
You also used to use my credit card without asking. Both your father and I really had our hands full.
That was just the silliness of youth. I don't do things like that anymore. I'm not a thief.
I know, you've finally grown up.
Of course. I'm already 30 years old. And I'm married too.
That's true. But I can't believe you really got married, even now. I really didn't think you'd be able to settle down.
What? You just thought I'd go around aimlessly my whole life? Give me a break, Mom. What kind of son do you think I am?
Remind me who it was that skipped school, went out all the time, and was unable to graduate from college? And then, after breaking off all contact, who was it that came back ridden with debt? It's because I know you well that I say things like that.
I guess those things did happen too. I really did some stupid things in my youth. There's no way I can live my life in that way anymore.
You're lucky there was a woman with such a big heart who was willing to marry you. I'm so thankful to her for marrying an idiot like you.
An idiot? Is that really something a mother should tell her son? But you're right, my wife really is a saint. There really isn't anyone with a bigger heart than her.
Make sure you don't take advantage of her kindness. If you get too cocky, even a woman like that will reach her limit.
Don't worry, I'm telling you that I'm sincere and faithful to her. I've always treated my precious girlfriends well too.
Despite your carelessness, you've always been popular with the girls. I wonder why.
Well, they always tell me it's my cute looks that make me popular. I'm all my older relatives' favorite as well, aren't I?
Women are probably just amused by how unreliable you are. I wouldn't want to be with a man like you.
What a horrible thing to say! Even though I get my looks from you.
Well, you've always been very good at flattery, I'll give you that. I wonder if that's why. Oh, I probably spoiled you too much as a child.
Hold on a sec. You're talking as though you didn't raise me right.
I'm just joking. I think you've really grown up and become an upstanding man compared to what you were before. You've been able to hold down your job for a long time, too.
Yeah, it's been 5 years now. Well, don't worry. I don't plan on quitting anytime soon.
I bet even your late father is relieved.
Right? Sure, I still run out of money sometimes. But it's not to the point that living gets difficult. I've really learned to control my spending since becoming an adult.
I'm glad to hear that.
Hey, Mom, do you have some time to talk? My wife is acting really horribly. I can't stand it anymore. I'm basically on the verge of tears.
What? What's happening between the two of you?
She's turned into some kind of monster. Let me vent a little.
You're talking about Stacy, aren't you?
Who else would it be? I only have one wife.
But you were singing her praises not long ago. You said that there couldn't possibly be better wife than her. You even called her a saint.
I couldn't see things clearly at the time. She was pulling the wool over my eyes. But she's finally revealed her true self recently. She's a really deceitful woman.
What are you talking about? Just tell me what happened.
She's supposed to be a housewife, but she doesn't do anything at all. All she does is lounge around at home and doesn't do anything even when I get home. I've been eating TV dinners this whole time. It's not like I'm picky with food or anything. A simple meal for dinner would be totally fine.
She doesn't do anything?
Nothing at all. She doesn't cook, she doesn't clean, she doesn't even take out the trash. Despite not doing any housework, she keeps spending all the money. She's even started cheating on me.
Cheating? Are you sure?
There's no doubt about it. I saw her going to a hotel with some random guy.
Saw her? You mean you saw her yourself?
She was acting all strange, right? So I pretended to go to work and followed her to see what she did. That's when I saw her go into that hotel.
I can't believe it. Then it must be true. Plus, she doesn't work at all, does she? That's horrible.
That's what I'm trying to say. Messing around with some guy using the money that I work for. I can't forgive her for this.
I would never have thought she was that kind of woman. Let me talk to her.
No, don't say anything.
Why?
Because I haven't said anything to her yet. If a third party got involved out of nowhere, it caused problems. I'm so scared what she might do out of revenge.
Revenge? What are you talking about?
That's something else I found out recently. She loses all control when she gets angry. That's why I don't want to do anything rash that surprise her.
Really? I guess you never really can tell what a person is like.
So, if possible, I'd like you to help me out in another way. At the moment, I haven't been really able to work. I've been so shocked by how much our relationship has changed in the last few months. My health has really been affected by the stress, and I'm not able to do as much as before. I went to the doctor, and he said it was from stress too.
Could it be depression? Make sure you go see a psychologist.
I did go once, but I didn't really get along with the doctor, so it didn't continue.
Don't push yourself so hard. Something similar also happened to my friend's child recently. He developed some emotional disorder and quit his job. It's almost impossible to fully recover from mental disorders, so make sure you take this seriously.
Yeah, I can't really move around so well right now, so I took leave from work.
But it's your wife that's the source of stress, right? Even if you take a break from your work, that won't bring an end to the problem.
But taking a break from work has eased my mind a little. Now I think I'll be able to face my wife. But the stress from my economic situation is pretty bad. Sorry, but would it be possible to help me out with some money?
I got it. In this situation, it can't be helped.
Thank you!
But I really can't believe it. She had such a horrible personality this whole time. How didn't you realize this sooner?
She just changed completely out of nowhere. Took me by surprise too.
Even though you've been married for over a year now, I guess you never know when people will show their true colors.
It could be that she got bored of me after a year.
Got bored? Oh, how heartless! You really made a mistake choosing to marry her. Stacy, I've got something I want to talk to you about.
Of course, it's been a while. What's going on?
I heard from my son. He told me not to get involved, but I feel so bad for him, I can't help but say something. Don't you think your actions are all going too far?
Sorry, but I don't understand. What are you talking about?
Oh, don't play dumb. spending all of his money, even going so far as cheating. Not only that, because of you, now he's ill. Of course, I won't forgive you for that.
Me? Spending all the money? Cheating? He's the one who cheated. What are you saying?
What?
I don't know what you heard from him, but the one spending all of the money and cheating is him.
No way. It can't be.
And he's been unemployed for the last 6 months too. I'm the one who's working to get us by.
6 months ago? Wait a minute, what's going on?
I'm also completely lost.
He's really unemployed? He's not just taking temporary leave.
If you don't believe me, you can call his old company and ask them yourself. That's the fastest way to get the truth.
Is it true that he cheated on you?
Yes, I have proof. He told me himself and asked for forgiveness. It was the first time he did it, so I decided to forgive him. But decided not to give him any money for a year as a punishment.
So that's why he came to me asking for money.
He asked you for money?
He said that he was so stressed from the shock of finding out that you cheated on him that he couldn't work anymore. Then he asked me to help with some money.
What the hell? How could he lie like that? Not only that, but he's making me out as the bad guy and himself as the victim? Even though I was the one that decided to overlook him cheating on me.
So he's the one lying to me.
You believe me?
What you're saying makes far more sense. You've also got proof. I'm so sorry, Stacy. I just started blaming you out of nowhere.
Don't worry about it. It can't be helped since he lied to you. If you found out that your son's wife had cheated on him, of course you'd be angry.
How can I make it up to you? I'm so sorry for my idiot son.
You're a victim here too, aren't you? There's no need to apologize. But we really can't just let him get away with this.
Of course not.
I shouldn't have forgiven him for cheating. I feel so utterly empty right now.
Of course. Stacy, there is no more need to forgive him. You should get back at him as you see fit. I'll also do what I can to help. Where on earth are you at this time?
I've been looking for a job. I went to a recruitment agency.
Don't lie. There's no doubt that you were out somewhere partying or drinking.
I don't have money for that. You know that. I don't have any spending money at all.
You've got the money that I gave you, right?
Me? I got no money from you. What are you talking about?
I gave you some after our discussion yesterday. You said that Stacy was cheating?
Huh? Is that you, Mom? Why are you using Stacy's phone?
Because we're together at the moment.
No way. You contacted her? I told you not to stick your nose into it. That's a problem that's between me and my wife.
You just said that so your lies wouldn't be exposed. I've heard the whole truth from Stacy. You're the one that was doing the cheating.
Me and Stacy have already discussed and worked through that. So it's got nothing to do with you. Don't bring it up.
You made her out to be a bad person just to get money from me. That definitely has something to do with me. I have a responsibility as your mother, after all.
I just had no money all of a sudden. And though I initially agreed that Stacy not giving me money was fine as a punishment, in the end it was too difficult. There's a limit to things, right? If I just asked you normally, you wouldn't have given me any.
That's right. Especially if I'd known the reason why you had no money in the first place.
Exactly. So I had no choice but to lie.
Didn't you even think how Stacy would feel when you said all those things about her? She even forgave you out of the kindness of her heart. How could you betray her in such a way, the poor thing?
I plan on talking through any misunderstandings with her afterwards. I didn't think she'd find out in such a way. But anyway, that's it, right? You involved yourself enough, haven't you? From here, I'll talk with my wife.
It's too late. She wants nothing more to do with you. She wants a divorce.
What? Seriously? She really said that?
Yes. Also, you need to leave the house. You have a few weeks to pack your bags and leave.
What? So suddenly?
She's the one who signed the lease after all. You were completely in her debt. And even so, you did so many heartless things to her.
But how can she kick me out so suddenly? Isn't that kind of messed up? I don't have any money! I'll be homeless! What did she say?
She says, you can't live or do anything without me, can you? You've been spoiled by people around you your entire life. But I'm not going to take care of you anymore. Now it's time you paid back everything you took from those around you.
What? What should I do? Help!
Oh, do you really think that I'll help you in this situation? I don't think of you as my son at all anymore.
What's that? You're trying to disown me?
Exactly. Don't show your face around me ever again.
Mom, wait! I'm sorry! I'm so sorry I disappointed you! I promise I'll change!
Up until now, I've forgiven you for all the problems you caused. But this time, I can't forgive you. I'm sure your late father also couldn't forgive you for this. So, go wherever you want and live the rest of your life as you like. After that, Stacy was true to her word. She immediately divorced my son and kicked him out of the house. My son had no idea what to do and tried to run back home to me. But I had already changed the locks and he was unable to enter the house. He tried to call me from outside time and time again, but I ignored him, and in the end, he gave up and left. He honestly deserves even worse than what he got. I called all of our relatives and told them to not help him if he ever came and asked them. Afterwards, I heard a rumor from my son's old classmate. Apparently, he is now a live-in factory worker. It must be hard work. But maybe this will be enough of a lesson to fix him and make him change his ways.